Just a little about yourself.
I'm from Spokane, Washington. I have owned a team for about 3.5 years. And last year we closed 242 units.
And when you said 3.5 years, what do you mean?
Oh, I've been an agent for 5, and about 3.5 years ago, I opened my own team. I moved from being an independent agent to have a team of agents.
Okay, so less than 4 years ago, you made the decision to build a team. Gotcha.
Yes, and to frame a little bit the conversation we're having today, the reason I wanted to share this specific part is I was actually having a conversation with Kevin and Fred in Spokane, and one of the things that came up is how do you follow the MREA model when you already have a team that is kind of working, but is kind of paying the bills, it's kind of a business, but I was an entrepreneur and I really didn't do it right. So how do I go from that without closing shop and firing everybody, because I still have to pay the bills, to actually have an MREA team? Because that's exactly what I did. I opened a team overnight with 6 agents, 1 assistant, no systems, and I had to pay the bills.
So how do you do that?
Okay, well, so I gathered 4 of the pieces that I thought were important. The first one is, I believe you have to create a vision for your business. But not just a vision of how big your business is going to be. What I want to say with that is, what is your role in your business? So what is it that you want to be once you're in 7 level? So for some of us, like in my case, I don't want to manage this business. I want to be out of the business. But some of you might actually love doing listing presentations and meeting sellers. So it really doesn't mean that you have to get out of the business, but creating that machine that is going to help you do the 3 or 4 listing appointments you want a week and have the life that you want, without having to be there 100% of the time. So one is define and get very clear today by when, which I said when I opened my team in 5 years, I am not managing this business. Okay. I was very clear about that. And then the second part about the vision is, how is your role going to change from today to get you there? So what are the things that you're doing right now, which I started as working with buyers, working with sellers, managing my staff, managing the agents I had. So I had to stop doing something, so I couldn't do everything, right? So the first thing I gave up was working with buyers, but for 2 years I worked with sellers. Okay. Until I developed the buyer side based on the model, then I was able to step away from the listing side, and then became just the manager of the business. Now I'm in the process of replacing myself to at least get out of the business. So I think those 2 things, if you are in a situation where you have a business right now, get very clear on your role and how you're gonna, what are the steps for you to the transformation from now to there. The next one is understand the model, and I was really excited when you started this morning with level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because I think a lot of people don't even know what those mean. What is being on level 3? What is being on level 4? And I will encourage you to look at the structure of your organization, because you will be surprised that you might realize that you have the people to maybe be on level 4. You just maybe don't have the systems and the structure itself of level 4.
But why wouldn't, if you had the people, why wouldn't you have the systems?
Well, because you went and hired everybody because you thought you needed all these people out of desperation.
Right, right.
I did that.
No. Well, I think actually all of us do that to some degree. Yeah. It's part of the learning process. No matter how much we listen or are taught, you still tend to hire out of pain.
Absolutely. So in my case, for example, I had 2 great staff that I hired them both. Then I realized I should have hired one that was the best and have her hire the second one, the transaction coordinator.
Yeah, there you go. Here we go.
Well, now, finally, my transaction coordinator decided to leave, which was painful because she was great. The way I look at it, though, was an opportunity for me to get away from my staff and have my executive assistant hire the new transaction coordinator. So you see, as we're going, as I have opportunities to implement the model, then I'm implementing the model. But I have it very clear. So that's when I said you need to understand what it means. And not just the structure, but the economic piece of it. And you and Jay were talking about this morning, are you budgeting to hire your first assistant? Right? So that's part of that is, okay, I know that in the next 6 months, I'm going to hire a manager. And I need to start budgeting the money for that salary, otherwise I know I never replace myself.
That's right.
But it's understanding the model.
Right, very good.
The next thing I think is huge, and it happened to me, and I lived it with a lot of pain, was get buy from your team. If the people that are working with you right now, they don't understand what you're doing, they're not going to help you go through the transformation. I opened my team at the end of 2007, and I immediately signed up for Family Reunion, came to Family Reunion, and it clicked to me that it's an amazing idea to have buyer specialists and listing specialists. At that point, every single person in my team worked with buyers and sellers. So I came back and I said, we're going to change these guys. 5 of you are going to be buyer specialists, and 2 of you are going to listing specialists, and life is great. And they almost all quit on me. Just don't do that. I actually...
Don't do that.
No, 3 months later I have to, please, let's go back to you guys working with buyers and sellers at the same time. I need to figure this out. I need to figure it out how to get them to understand that it was an important change for them as well. So, how do you get the buy-in? You have to create a vision for your team that includes them, that taps in their big why. You know, you were talking about today, the 3 key people in your business have to make money. They have to see that it's their career path. And then when you create the vision of your organization, you do have to take in consideration the people that are with you. And what I did is I took the MREA, and Tony, don't quote me on which pages this shows up because I don't know, but there is a couple pages that talk about vision, mission, values, beliefs, and perspective. And my former team leader, Chris Angel, actually did this exercise with the ALC and walked us through the entire process, and I took that and took it to my team, and an entire day we spent 8 hours in a room together designing the vision, the mission, values, beliefs, and perspective. Since then, everything that I bring back, because right now everybody's afraid that I'm coming back from Mega Camp with all these ideas and when I implement them all. But now
don't let her go. Yeah.
They back me up because they believe in the vision that I have that includes them. So that is huge in order for you to go through the transformation. And yes, sometimes you're going to have to let go some people, and that's okay. You're going to stay with the ones that back you up.
Let's just make a